And he is, oh, wait a minute. Well, he is Spalding pottery. Blah, blah. How many of these did I get?
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the front porch of the 1925 bungalow. I'm Scott. Today we have another thrift haul, and I'm happy to share these items with you. It has been a phenomenal last couple of weeks. People must have really been getting rid of things the end of July because the thrift shops around here have been filled. And the old timers taught me, you buy it when you see it. I've been buying way much more than I even have time to research, let alone list or sell. But when you're in this business, you have dry spells, when you can't find anything, so you've got to have inventory. And I've got it. Okay. We're gonna have a sip of that and put it down. And let's go through some of these things that were purchased here in thrift shops in the Delaware Valley, South Jersey, Philadelphia area. First of all, I'd like to share with you another 1930s Majolica glazed Japan corn set. I've bought and sold these before. You've seen them. The one set that I finally decided to keep for myself was missing one corn plate. This one is complete with all 6 of its corn plates and the tray as well. So we have seen this and talked about it. A lot of American homes had this in the 1930s. You can see it's in excellent condition, and corn on the cob, especially South Jersey corn, doesn't taste any better than if you serve it on those platters, I think. Look at this beautiful amber swan, liquid honey, that is. New Martinsville, maybe. They did a set like this, which were actual candlesticks as well. And it would have the place for the candle and a center bowl. But I think this swan was copied by different companies, so it might not be New Martinsville, but it's a beauty. Isn't she a beauty? She will be coming up for sale in the month of September when I have my autumn extravaganzas. I'll tell you more about that as we get close. Who would not want to cream their coffee with a beret-wearing pig? Look at that. Never seen him. And he is, oh, wait a minute. Well, he is Spalding pottery. How about that? A little pink pig. I guess that's a barware. The quality of this glass is exceptional. Wouldn't surprise me at all if it's Hedi. Now, Hedi isn't always marked, but and they made this type of a chamber candlestick, but other companies did as well. It's the quality that speaks for itself. This piece is very high. I can tell it's fire polished glass. It's very high quality, beautiful piece of glass. You don't always find the H in the diamond, and Hedi will put that H in the weirdest places. They'll put it up here, they'll put it down there, they'll put it under here, they'll put it over there. Sometimes they'll even mark the glass twice. I've seen glass with 2 diamonds with H's in 2 different spots. So, not sure about that, but quality sometimes speaks more than a mark. Look at that. I've had this too. Farber Brothers did the chrome. The glass usually it's Cambridge that applied the glass to Farber Brothers, but I've often seen this lotus leaf done by Westmoreland, so I'd have to go and do some reading to see if Westmoreland, if they got some of their glass from them. But this goes, it's a 30s, and it's probably just a candy or a nut. I don't think this was meant to be eaten out of. I could be wrong on that, but this would go with their chrome sets, their chrome cocktail sets, and that's a glass insert. So this goes back to the Art Deco era of the 30s. Okay, that's just beautiful. We'll see this again in the autumn season, which is hard to believe. 4 months away, about 4 weeks away, we get into, well, 6 weeks. Crackle glass, partially polished pontal, and we're going to take a look at this again in just a minute, because I have an idea of something that can be done with it. I might keep that as a good example of a nice fan vase, from the 20s. And yes, as we've said before, it was a popular form, and so if it made money, then it was imitated. And this has a diamond optic effect in it. But look at these little flying buttress things that come down here. We see a lot of fan bases like that. I love that. I'd have to go through my books to tell you which company made it, but once again, it's one of those great American glass companies of the 1920s and 30s. Look at this cocktail shaker. Oh boy, with brown chocolate Bakelite. I don't often find that. Now, I am curious that the cap here is black, and I'm wondering if that may have been replaced. It might not have been, but it might have been. It might have had a silver cap, or actually as well a chocolate brown Bakelite cap there over the spout. Not too sure about that, but very nice. Condition is good, and I think this is a Farber piece as well. Chrome craft. See, this kind of thing would be on the table, and then nuts could be in this. Now, there should be 4 of these, but I only have 2. This would be part of a bridge set. So Blanche and Louise and Helen and Carol can sit around and they can puff, puff, puff. And they can have their little gin and tonic, and it can sit right on the coaster part, and they can puff away while they're playing cards in the afternoon. See there? So this is just black Bakelite, and I've got 2 of them. I wish I had the whole bridge set, 4 of them. But you take what you can get, the way you can find it. Blah, blah. How many of these did I get? 4 and 4 is 8. I got 8 ruby red tumblers. I believe this is Hocking. I mean, I know Anchor Hocking did the ruby red, royal ruby red, and I think this was one of the, they must have had 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 different styles of tumblers in the, I believe 1938 is when it was released. They came up with a formula where they didn't have to use gold to produce this red color. And so it made it affordable. Look at these. Love them, love them, love them. I've seen them before, but it's the first time I have found a pair of 2. Beautiful. Could be McKee. Once again, I've got to go through the books. It's going to take me a hot minute, but I'll be able to find them. They might have patented that particular etch, and what I like about these the best, this is good glass, is I like the way that the flower comes up and it's split in half, and then we see it wrap around both sides of the stem of the candlestick. Aren't they beautiful? So that's good glass. That is good fire polished glass. So once again, Central, McKee, US glass. These are old, and they're just beautiful with wheel cut flowers on here, not etched. So on a grinding tool, somebody did this. I love those candlesticks, and I bet you will too. I was over the moon. I was over the moon. And I'm out of order because you're going to see a thrifting video that'll probably come out 10 days from now when I actually find this in the store. But anyway, yes. Now you say, well, how do you know that's not new? All right, so there is orange and black glass that's very new. But the techniques, the design, they're not the same as the antiques. This goes back to 1925 to 1935, and this may have been made once again. Here we go. Lancaster, Dugan Diamond, McKee, Imperial, U.S. Glass, Tiffin, not Tiffin, but one of the Central, and others. Indiana. They all made glass like this with this thickly applied enamel paint, and you've got to see it and feel it, and you'll always know. So these were made with just clear glass, right? And then the enamel paint, it holds up well. It doesn't flake off, you know, the way it flakes off of the backs of Goofus glass. It will scratch, and it can sometimes be a little uneven because it appears as though it was sprayed on, but it doesn't, and it will scratch if you take something really sharp to it. But the paint does hold up well. Sometimes it can be uneven. And it almost has a waxy feel to it. I've often struggled with the adjectives to use to describe it, but you know what I'm talking about if you have this old glass. You feel the way this enamel paint, it just has a certain feel to it. This piece also had little enamel dots, and I don't know but whether you can see very faintly. Boy, Granny really polished the heck out of this thing. It had a gold swag that was loop-de-loop-de-loop-de-loop all through, that connected all of these dots. You see just a little bit of it? Yeah. Well, any type of gold decoration is always going to disappear, and it has on this. Doesn't make a single bit of difference. I'm not selling it. This goes into my wonderful collection of 1920s and 30s glass. And I'm going to put it right there so you can admire it the whole time. I shouldn't do that. I'll put it over here. But yes, over the moon about that thing. This is a beautiful Cambridge etch. Look at that. Liquid honey once again. Look at the flowers. I think things show up better in certain, if I put it like up against my shirt, then you'll really be able to see the beautiful etch. Now, it is Cambridge, and we have the indentation here for the cheese and cracker compote. This is the underplate. The cheese and cracker is gone. Yeah, good luck. I mean, you'll find one, but you probably have to go on the net and search for it and know the pattern. I don't know the etch on this. I didn't look it up. So you just now have a serving platter. But think outside of the box. What if you bought this and this? You know where I'm going with that. What a nice, I think that's lovely for autumn. Stick a little candle in there. Don't let it burn all the way down, and make sure it's inside of glass, or use a battery operated flicker. I know some of you are going to get nervous and say, don't put a flame in there, but a little candle won't hurt this. If it's in its own little glass sleeve, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, wouldn't that be beautiful? I should do that when I do my autumn sale. I'll stick I'll stick a candle in there and let you see what it looks like. Okay, very nice, very nice, very nice. Of course, I do know and I said I was not going to buy any more Manhattan. I've stopped collecting it. I sold all of my Manhattan, all of it. And here I am out buying more. All right, well, I couldn't turn this down because I never find this bowl with these handles on it. I am not an expert on the difference between Park Avenue and Manhattan. I know when they were made, but I don't have memorized all of the details. I'm fairly certain that that's an old Manhattan piece rather than Park Avenue. I love the handles on there, and I'm going to be offering that for sale because I don't want the Manhattan anymore. I think, but again, I gotta go double check. I never really cared for the Westmoreland pattern called Della Robbia. It did come out, I think, in like maybe 1927 or 28. Until I saw a few pieces of it in person. And then I was hooked. I always thought, and I'm going to hold this up, it reminded me of glass that was colored by a child with magic markers that were running out of ink. Let's take a close look at it and you'll see why I'm saying that. If I hold this up, you might be able to see sort of the transparency. It does almost look like magic markers that are running out of ink. But this is the way it was done in the factory, and I'll turn it over this way. It really is beautiful. I love this glass. Now, Indiana made something called, oh boy, here I go. Never mind, because I can't remember. I'm not certain 100% that this is Westmoreland's Della Robbia because I don't remember it having bananas. But there was a reincarnation of this. They did it in the 20s, and then they did milk glass, and then I think it came back again, and molds were sold and things were changed. It is good, heavy, thick glass, and there is a lot of wear under here, is where you would expect to see it. See it? So I do think that this is old, but if it's Della Robbia, I got to look a little bit more to see if it's the Westmoreland, and I just love it. I am hooked on it. I really like it now. So, yeah. So we have that. Put that down over there. Now I have to come right back. Okay, next I would love to show you that I have 4 of these. I had 5, and then I threw one on the floor when I got out of my truck. So now I have 4. It happens. They are wheel cut, and they're little cordials, I suppose. Or if you're lightweight, that's a wine glass. And they are in beautiful green, and they do contain uranium, and so they will glow under a black light, and aren't they beautiful? They really are. So 4 of these, and I don't think any of them are chipped. There might be a chip on one down here at the bottom, so not an issue at all. Nice green color as well. This is elegant depression glass, the type of glass that was purchased in department stores and gift shops and that kind of thing, but not your cheap giveaway glass. Now, I don't know what you've been doing this afternoon, but I've been sitting around boning up on my Hedi Schoop. I mean, couldn't we all stand a little boning up on our Hedi Schoop? Huh. And the book of the day is the California Pottery book. It's a little one, and there aren't a lot of pictures of examples, but this is really just to go through all of the major companies that were making, and some of the small studios that were making pottery in California in sort of that 1930s, 40s, 50s era. And we always think of Ohio potteries, but let's here about a few of the California potteries, just some. Catalina, K. Finch, Florence, Freeman McFarland, Bauer Pottery, Metlocks, Pacific, Vernon Kilns, of course, Hedi Schoop, and it goes on and on and on. Let's take a look for a minute at Miss Hedi Schoop, who I believe she was born in, was it Sweden, Norway, or Finland, somewhere. Sorry. But there she is in the 40s, sitting in her studio in California. Hello, Hedi Schoop. Here she is, examining some of her pottery. Obviously, you know I'm going to show you some Hedi Schoop pottery in just a second. She actually was into the arts. I think she was trying to become an actress and it didn't quite work out. But she had a lot of friends. She was married to a composer. Here they are outside of the Hedi Schoop Art Creations factory there in California, in Hollywood. And on a lunch break, I guess, the folks from the factory in the decorating room. And anyway, she did some amateur pottery decorating, and some department store buyer got a hold of a couple pieces and said, hey, you have talent, can you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Her mother gave her some money. She opened up a factory, and she was very successful until it burnt down in 1958, something like that. So she put out quite a bit of giftware in California, and then it was shipped all over the country. And I've got two pieces right here, and I'm excited to tell you, well, let's look at what we've got. The two Hedi Schoop pieces are in excellent condition. No chips, no cracks, no breaks, no repairs. Look at that. Classic, classic. Late 1940s, probably. Yeah. And I don't know if she's telling him to stop and put that horn down, or if he is just charming her with music from the Orient. I don't know if that was from the Orient or not, but anyway, she is doing her little dance, and these are so much fun. Hedi Schoop did a lot of figures of Asian folk and folk from the Pacific Islands, and sometimes colonial American, but mostly things like this. Very nicely done. It's art pottery, made in California, and I just love it. I think they're just fantastic. Also, because the condition is so good. This one, you can barely see the mark on the bottom. Let's put you up there. You can toot your horn in front of the radio. This piece is simply signed Hedi Schoop, Hollywood, California. I think you can kind of see it right there. Yeah. So I guess we need to put the two of them together so they can do their thing back there. But the neat thing is, if you look at that figure right there, you shall see it in this picture here, so we know at least it goes back to 1948, because that little horn playing dude is, or at least a variation of him, is right there. See? And that's a 1948 picture. So, I found those today. For myself, I'm keeping Palestrina masses and motets because I love me a good Palestrina motet. Who doesn't? I was a music major as an undergrad. I think I've told you that before. So we used to have to, in music theory, oh, any music majors out there? Music theory will kick your butt. It's it's usually a 2-year college course. 4 semesters. And it can be wicked. But we used to have to write out all the chord progressions for Bach fugues, and I can see myself sitting there at 3 o'clock in the morning in the music building with other music majors. Is that a B flat minor? Is that, what mode is that? So I'm going to be listening to some Palestrina. I have a biscuit jar, cookie jar, and it's lusterware made in Japan. I love how the handle was coming unraveled and Granny took a pipe cleaner and wrapped around it just to keep it from breaking any farther than that. Yeah, great. So cookie jar made in Japan, lusterware. We've got that to offer you later on. Everybody knows that pattern. I don't even have to tell you. Moon and stars. Right. Ellie Smith. Amberina. It's wet because I just washed it. We're going to see that in the autumn sales as well. That's it, except one more thing. Actually, well, yeah. Ugh. This weighs 15 pounds. What is it? You know what it is. It's an insulator. See, it's threaded on the inside, but that is a whopper. That has to be either from some type of a commercial, some type of an industrial setting. This isn't the type of insulator that's on the top of your telephone poles outside of your house. At least I don't think so. So whether this came from a generating station or some big power plant, I don't know, but it is heavy. And what do you want with that? What do you want with an insulator? Well, I don't see an insulator. I see something else. And in fact, I have two of them. And you already know what I see. Do you see what I see? And I'm not trying to sing Christmas songs out of season either. I see two candle holders. Now look. Well, all this gray and black and gray and black and gray and black. There's got to be somebody out there who wants gray and black. Well, you got it. Look at these. Get you some of those big, thick, like church candle, you know, the big, thick candles in there. You have a place here. You could put potpourri in there, or I don't know, candy corn mix, black jelly beans. You could put something all around the candle if you wanted to. And can you see these on a table or a big fireplace mantle? In the right setting, you've got two awesome, unique candle holders, I think. Although they'll ship in small boxes, but they'll be heavy. I think I'll do, what do you call it? What's that rate where you just pay one flat rate and doesn't matter? That's when you use flat rate because they're so heavy. Yeah, that's the way to do that. I think that that is everything that I'd like to show you today in this thrift haul. Well, once again, what did you like? What was your favorite? Is there anything here that you could help me identify that I wasn't sure about? I know I've been coming at you hot and heavy with these thrift hauls. So remember, if you're subscribed to the eBay store, when it's listed, you'll get a notice, and my auctions run for 7 days, so you will have time to bid. I do live sales twice a month, the first and the third Monday of each month, and that second Monday night is a live sale as well, and I do that with my co-host David from Texas. So it's actually 3 live sales, but they're always on Monday nights. 9 o'clock is the time that the Two Chaps live sale begins on the second Monday. The first and the third Monday, those live sales begin at 8 p.m. And sometimes I'm able to do thrift hauls ahead of time and let you know what I'm selling and when I'm selling it. I try to do that, but I can't always manage it. Anyway, I've got to go. I can't sit around here. A buddy of mine is arriving at 30th Street Station in about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. He's on the train from Queens, or from Penn Station rather. Tomorrow morning, we're driving to west of Baltimore to pick up a piece of furniture that I was able to find for him, then coming back here, and then the next day driving it up. I'll be driving it up in my truck to his apartment in Queens. So I'll try to do some filming for you, who knows. I think I have a video to post while I'm gone. And then if not, I'll see you Monday night. Oh, that's right. I'm going to show you Monday night's offerings because I have a live sale with David Monday night at 9 o'clock. And I have got some wonderful, exciting, unique items I don't want you to miss out. So yes, that video will be coming out probably tomorrow so that you'll have time to see what I'm selling Monday night. All right, I gotta jump here and get over to 30th Street Station in Philly to pick my buddy up, and then it's road trip tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Have yourselves a lovely weekend. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop saying wait for the cat, and so long for now.